Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this. Believing and becoming is more important than doing. So, get to that in a minute. And hopefully I'll make some sense of this topic. Relax. Drop your shoulders, hand on your heart. Slow your breath, but deeply. Fill your lungs. If you're tight and tense, that sends a signal to the brain that, oh no, something bad's going on. But if you're nice and relaxed, and if you want a reference for what relaxed is, think about yourself sitting on a beach or laying on a beach blanket, listening to the waves, hearing the seagulls, ah, ah. How relaxed you are. So, believing and becoming is more important than doing. So a lot of people, they'll tell me, "Hey Dan, I've been doing this work for X amount of months or years and it's not working. Been doing the work, doing the work, doing the work." And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes, when I question, well, what do you think's causing the pain? Well, I've got TMJ, or I've got a herniated disc, or I've got X, Y, and Z medical diagnosis. And I say, okay, well, foundationally, you think your body's a problem. As long as you believe the body's a problem, your brain's going to have a more difficult time turning it off. So believing is important. Now, here's that debate. A lot of people online are saying, you gotta believe 100%. And you know what that does? That scares so many people off of even trying. Because people are like, 100%? I have some doubt. I'm never going to get better, so why even bother? So, my stance on that is believe enough to begin. 100% doesn't exist. There is no 100%. And even for people who have had their symptoms disappear, 6 months later, they're still like, I got a little percentage of, what if it comes back? There is no 100%. Let go of that artificial barrier called 100% belief. You don't need 100% belief. Believe enough to begin. How do you get there? Watch some videos. Read the book. My book, preferably. But there's other books. Learn about the mind-body concept. And don't go too crazy with that. I mean, if you've read 5 mind-body TMS type of books, you don't need to read 3 more. If you'd like that, great. But knowledge acquisition, once you understand the concept, let's move on to implementation. So, believing and becoming are more important than doing. So a lot of people in this mind-body space are like, okay, so the brain creates it. The answer is journaling, breathwork, meditation, somatic tracking, whatever it may be. In my world, conveying safety. And sometimes people will jump ahead to the doing, and they don't have the foundation laid. So for me, the foundation is understanding what is creating symptoms. And in my view and my experience, symptoms are created when the brain perceives a problem, danger, a threat. Symptoms are not proof of damage or sickness. Symptoms are proof that the brain is perceiving there to be a problem. Big difference. Big difference. So, foundationally, what creates symptoms? A brain perceiving danger. Now, if you've been anxious much of your life, always hypervigilant, always hypersensitive, your brain is more likely to perceive danger than somebody else who's like super chill. Okay? What's funny is even the super chill people are not immune to TMS, because I was a pretty chill person. Yet, I still had 13 years of back pain. Go figure. So, it's an equal opportunity condition. So foundationally, what creates symptoms? Does it apply to me? isthistms.com, or if you have picked up my book, Chapter 6, the assessment is there. So, foundationally learn that. But believing and becoming. So we gather the knowledge, we do the assessment, we start to believe enough, and that's where you start to become less bothered. We want to become more indifferent, less bothered, more confident, more capable of reassuring ourselves, more capable of shifting our attention to resuming life. Become the type of person that makes living more important than fixing. Because by definition, TMS, perceived danger pain, perceived danger symptoms, mean the brain is perceiving danger, and with chronic conditions, it's almost always a false perception. So, really important. Believing and becoming. Who are you becoming? Less bothered, more confident, more at peace. Peace is a really good goal, and ask yourself, how much peace am I feeling? For many of us, not much at all, if any. For many of us, we're in chaos. We are fighting the symptoms. We are fighting ourselves. We are criticizing and judging ourselves. We are beating ourselves up for having the symptoms in the first place, and then we're beating ourselves up a second or third time because we haven't figured out how to stop them yet. There's no peace there, right? So you want to become more peaceful, more gracious towards yourself, more kind, compassionate, forgiving to yourself. Look, none of this is your fault. None of this is your fault. It's where you ended up. But the cool part is, there's a predictable, reliable strategy to get better. And if you're watching my videos for a while, you're on the path. Take comfort in knowing that so many people have gotten better before you. I think I got 110 full-length interview success stories on my channel, painfreeyousuccess.com, with dozens and dozens of different conditions, not just pain, right? So many people are getting better. Go to Amazon, painfreeyoubook.com. That'll bring you right to my Amazon page. Read the book reviews. So many of them are reading like success stories, people getting better. I get messages daily of people saying, thank you so much. You've helped me so much. My pain is down 50% in 2 months. Or, in some cases much faster, in some cases longer. The speed at which people get better is dependent on their ability to neutralize the fear with the knowledge acquisition up front. What creates symptoms? Does this apply to me? Making a decision. That's what I call it in the book, the big decision, chapter 7. You got to accept that this is what's going on. That's part of the believing. And the believing will help you become this less concerned, less freaked out, less panicked person. Believing and becoming. Knowing that you're in the right place and becoming the type of person who is less bothered, more focused on living life, willing to expand your capacity, willing to experience symptoms in order to get rid of them, because you cannot get rid of your symptoms by avoiding doing anything that may cause symptoms. Avoidance teaches the brain that the things you are avoiding are the problem. So if we avoid everything, we stay in bed, and we might get comfortable for a while. But we eventually have to get back to life, and when we get back to life, the brain will eventually go, whoa, Dan, what are you doing? I thought you were safe in bed. So the way to get better is to live with your symptoms, do more with your symptoms, expect it to go well, and if symptoms are present, okay, I know what it is because I've done my homework, I've gathered that knowledge. The perception of danger is what's creating the symptoms. That's what applies to me. I've done the assessments to rule it in. I've made the big decision to accept it. So now I've accepted and I've chosen to believe that I'm in the right place. I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. And it is predictable and probable that if I stay on this path, I'm going to get better. Now for the people who are in a panic, get the foundation laid. Because a lot of times the people in a panic, they haven't really laid the foundation. They're still worried that they might be sick or broken or the doctors missed something. Do the foundational work. If you need some more help on that, read the book. It really lays it out in the first 4 or 5 chapters. What creates symptoms? Chapter 6, how to assess it to see if that's what's going on with you. Do the assessment for each symptom that you're concerned with, and you'll get a really solid idea. And then chapter 7, you can really make the big decision to accept it. Make the big decision to believe that this is what's going on and that you're in the right place and that you're on the right path. Then you can become the type of person that leans on that accurate knowledge to be less bothered and more confident and more optimistic and less catastrophic about your future. You'll be the type of person who becomes more positively predictive about your future and less negatively predictive. If you predict your own demise, it's really going to be tough to teach this brain that we're okay. So, knowledge acquisition, assessment, decision to believe, and then we become the type of person who is less bothered by this stuff. Notice in there, I didn't say that you've got to meditate for 2 hours a day or breath work for 30 minutes or somatic track for this much time or journal for this much time. Those are all doing activities. And in my view, if you like those activities and would do them if you were feeling fantastic, wonderful. Some people have been journaling since they were 10 years old. Cool. Fun practice. But is it truly a tool that will fix you? Maybe, if you have the foundation laid and you're using the tools to convey safety. Sure, those tools are valid. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying if you learn, there's this thing called TMS, let me journal, somatic track, breath work, meditation, but you don't understand what's going on and what the objective is, which, let me spell it out. The objective of everything I teach and the work we do is to convey to the brain that there's no true threat, no true danger. It's a misperception created by misinformation, and therefore it's a false alarm, and therefore it's temporary, therefore it's reversible. The key objective is to convey safety consistently, credibly, confidently. And when the brain buys that message, guess what happens to the symptoms? They drop off. So we're not fixing body parts at all. We're not. We're conveying safety to the brain so it turns off these alarm systems. And it settles down this hypervigilant, hypersensitive brain and nervous system. Right? We're not fixing, we're teaching. So if you want some help, painfreeyoubook.com. If you're more of a video person, go to dansfaststart.com. It's a little less organized, but there's a series of videos in that playlist on YouTube that really cover a lot of these details quite well. If you'd like to work with me directly in a group format, painfreeyougroup.com. And also, if you're on YouTube and are not yet a subscriber, please hit that red subscribe button. Would love to keep on building the subscriber base. If you're on Facebook, like the video, like the post, share it. Same thing with YouTube. If you think it is valuable to somebody in your life, click the share button, copy the link, and send it to them. Spread the word, folks, because this stuff works. It's predictable, it's reliable, it's proven, and it's your turn. So, going to wrap it up here. Love you, folks, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.